What's up guys, this is Theo here coming to you live with another coding tutorial. Welcome back to part 2 of Introduction to ReactJS. So let's get to it. Let's click continue and let's see what it has to offer. So it says when writing, actually let's start from the beginning, sorry. So it says this lesson will cover more advanced JSX. You'll learn some powerful tricks and some common errors to avoid. Grammar in JSX is mostly the same as in HTML, but there are subtle differences in what to watch out for. Probably the most frequent of these involves the word class. In HTML, it's common to use class as an attribute name, like an ID. In JSX, you can't use the word class. You have to use class name instead. Okay. So this is like their custom directive. This is because JSX gets translated into JavaScript, and class is a reserved word in JavaScript. When JSX is rendered, JSX class name attributes are automatically rendered as class attributes. So this is on line 5, declare a new variable, name my div. Okay, so I already did that. And set it equal to a JSX div element and give it a class name of big. And underneath your div, do react.dom.render. We're going to render the div and then we're going to place it inside of our app. So like what we've been doing all along. So that's good. So number 2, another JSX gotcha involves self-closing tags. What's self-closing? Most HTML elements use 2 tags, an opening tag, div, and a closing tag, div. However, some HTML elements such as image and input use only one tag. That tag belongs to a single tag element. The tag that belongs to a single tag element isn't an opening tag nor a closing tag. It's a self-closing tag. When you write a self-closing tag in HTML, it is optional to include a / immediately before the final angle bracket. So yeah, there's certain ones that don't require to. But in JSX you have to include the slash. If you write a self-closing tag in JSX and forget the slash, you will raise an error. So you gotta always have these self-closing. So it says fix the broken JSX. So what I did, I fixed the image and the line breaks. So cool. So far we've focused on writing JSX expressions. It's similar to writing bits of HTML but inside of a JavaScript file. In this lesson, we're going to add something new. Regular JavaScript written inside of a JSX expression written inside of a JavaScript file. Whoa. So basically, we're requiring the React DOM, and we're rendering this little interpolation 2 plus 3. So normally if you didn't have these, it wouldn't render or it wouldn't interpolate that, but by putting it in these what's called handlebars, React, the engine, is behind the scenes going to interpolate this and spit out 5. So if I were to change this, obviously I think it might give me an error, but if I change this to 4, I should see 6 right here. So let's just see. Let's make sure it compiles to 6. Let's see. Any day now. 6. Cool. Awesome. Let's move on. The code in the last exercise didn't behave as one might expect. Instead of adding 2 and 3, it printed out 2 plus 3 as a string of text because we didn't interpolate it at that time. So you have to wrap it in curly braces like I said. Okay, I'm not going to repeat that. You can now inject regular JavaScript into JSX expressions. This will be extremely useful. In the code editor, you can see a JSX expression that displays the first 20 digits of pi. Study the expression and notice the following. The code is written in a JavaScript file. By default, it will all be treated as regular JavaScript. Find div on line 5. Okay. From there up through the div, the code will be treated as JSX. Find math. From there up through 20, the code will be treated as JavaScript again. The curly braces themselves won't be treated as JSX nor as JavaScript. They are the markers that signal the beginning and end of a JavaScript injection into JSX, similar to the quotation marks that signal the boundaries of a string. So select app.js, declare a new variable named math, set math equal to an h1, and then we just want to interpolate 2 plus 3, 5, and then we're going to render it. So pretty simple. Let's move on to 6. When you inject JavaScript into JSX, that JavaScript is part of the same environment as the rest of the JavaScript in your file. That means that you can access variables while inside of a JSX expression, even if those variables were declared on the outside. So we're setting a name to Gerdo, and then we have access to this variable as long as we interpolate it. So pretty cool. We're just going to interpolate this, but you could write whatever variable you want. As long as you place it in here, it will have access. So 7. When writing JSX, it's common to use variables to set attributes. Here's an example of how that might work. So we're setting side length to 200 pixels, and then we're just interpolating that in here. So this is just going to change to 200 pixels for height and width. Same here, we have this object, and then pix, and then panda is the key. So this is just going to interpolate to this bit URL. Awesome. So it says, on line 7, declare a new variable named gooseImage. Set its value equal to a JSX image element. Okay. Give the image an attribute name of source, and then set the attribute's value equal to the variable goose. So I think all we have to do is interpolate it like that. Let me go up just to make sure. Yep. And let's run that. Make sure we get this correctly. So we're just setting the source to this variable. So let's see if we get a green light here. Okay, cool. Use react.dom.render. Okay, so we're going to do that. We're going to do react.dom.render, and then we're going to render the goose image, and then we're going to do document.getElement by ID, and then we're going to pass it app. So let's run that again. Okay, hopefully that works. So we should see this image on the page. And we see the image. Cool. It's coming through. I don't know why this isn't giving us a green light. Hopefully soon. Awesome. So let's move on. JSX elements can have event listeners just like HTML elements can. Programming in React means constantly working with event listeners. You can create an event listener by giving a JSX element a special attribute. Here's an example. So on click, just like regular JavaScript, and then you have the function that evaluates. Okay. And then you write this function, cool, and then same as what we've been doing before, as long as you have it declared, you can have access to it. So it says, look at line 17, react.dom.render is being passed 2 null arguments. Render kitty by replacing the first null with kitty, okay, so we're going to use kitty, and then we're just going to use what we've been doing from the get-go, document.getElement by ID, and then we're going to pass an app. So this should now render. This image. Cool. And then what looks like what we want to do now: add an onClick attribute to the image element. Set onClick's value equal to the makeDoggy function. Okay. So what we're going to do now is let's see. Okay, give us a green light for that. We're going to create our onClick, and then we're going to set it equal to this function up here, makeDoggy. And then let me see, do I need no, I just need the name of the function. So now it should run, and it looks like it's just setting the attribute, it's changing the image. So it should, let's see if this works. Maybe it doesn't work in here. Oh, okay, it did work. Cool. Let's move on. Great work. You've learned how to use curly braces to inject JavaScript into a JSX expression. Here's a rule that you need to know. You cannot inject an if statement into a JSX expression. This code will break. Okay, the reason why has to do with the way that JSX is compiled. You don't need to understand the mechanics of it now, but if you're interested, then you can learn more here. What if you want a JSX expression to render, but only under certain circumstances? You can't inject an if statement. What can you do? You have lots of options. In the next few lessons, we'll explore some simple ways to write conditionals, expressions that are only executed under certain conditions in JSX. So I'm guessing it's a ternary operator. How can you write a conditional if you can't inject an if statement into JSX? Well, one option is to write an if statement and not inject it into JSX. Look at if.js. Follow the if statement all the way from line 4 to line 16. Okay, so just basic if statement. And then looks like all we're doing now, so we're handling the control flow of the program, and then later we're rendering the result. So it works because of that. So select app.js, and then it says start on line 15. Write an if-else statement using if.js as a guide. So we'll say if coin toss equals heads, and then we'll say, let me just grab this. Then we'll set the image to that. Else, what does it need? Oh, my bad. I don't think I need, I think that's self-closing, so that's good. Else, what do we want to do? We want to change the image to this. So let's do that. And then that's good. Let's run that. So very basic conditional, heads or tails, just changing out the image source. Let's see if we can get this to run. Come on. Let's go. Your condition should be if coin toss equals heads. Oh, do I need to have it in an if else statement? Fuser.age or message else. What am I doing wrong? Not sure. If coin toss go to heads, maybe it's that. I'm not sure. Let's see what's wrong with what I have. Let's try to run this again. If coin toss is equal to heads. If coin toss equal to heads of our image. Okay, that's what I have. If coin toss is equal to heads, you just do this again. Or image else, or image. Okay, I'm not sure why it's erroring. It's really strange. Yeah, I'm honestly not sure why that's not working. Okay, well, at the bottom, basically what we would do is now we would do React DOM, dot render, and then we'd render image, and then we'd do document.get element by ID, pass in the app, and then this should work. I don't know if it will because it's giving me an error right now, but let's see. 1, 2. So yeah, it's definitely rendering that. All right. Well, let me see if I can move on to the next one. No, it's not letting me. That's really strange. I'm not sure I understand what I did wrong. Let me try and write it one more time. So say if coin toss equal to heads, and then me just write it exactly as they have it. I'm not sure. I'll try. If not, then I'll have to make a follow-up video, I guess. It's not letting me go on. And let me just try running that again. Let's see what it gives us this time. Let's look. So it's giving us a cat. Your condition should be coin toss. Yeah, I'm really not sure. Alright guys, I will come back to this one, so we're on lesson 10 of 16. So I'll just call this, I'll make the next one like a continuation, but yeah guys, hope you guys learned something. Make sure to give it a thumbs up, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, thanks for the feedback. Look forward to the next video, and yeah guys, make sure to subscribe. Thanks, have a great day.